We're going to start with the nation. Governors give seconders soft landing, pacify Wike. APC governors back Buni-led caretaker panel. NIN compulsory for WASI next year. VAT yields 1 trillion naira in 6 months. Dixon protests EFCC grilling over the 17.5 billion naira cash. Lagos records 42 COVID-19 deaths in 8 days. Nigeria takes on Indonesia over assault on envoy. And if I reincarnate, I would remain Fela's disciple. Okay.
We'll do COVID-19.
Let's start COVID, then we'll go to the VAT.
Okay. Yes. So the Health Commissioner of Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, yesterday made a pronouncement, said about 42 persons have died as a result of COVID-19 complications between August 1st and August 8th. And he said they have tested about 2,368 persons and 219 cases were positive out of it. Especially in places like Lagos, the isolation centers are already filled to the brim. And if this continues, they may likely have to open other isolation centers to take care of the people. He said out of the 57,282 persons that have been infected, 4,481 has recovered. This is all the data from the beginning when COVID-19 started. And they are appealing to everybody to try as much as possible to use their face masks. They are not going to be locking down anything or not allowing people move about and do their businesses, but we need to take precautions so that we do not, personal precautions so that we do not come down with COVID-19.
Okay, let's take
to stress the VAT story. So the Federal Inland Revenue Service are just announcing that in 6 months they made 1 trillion naira from VAT across the country. And so, while celebrating that, they got the news of them not entitled to the VAT from the from the River State High Court, and they are going to appeal the judgment.
Okay. All right, so NIN, according to WAEC, they're saying that from next year, everyone who registers for WAEC must have the NIN, and they're asking students to begin to register and get their NIN before then. Say, as we continue to make progress in the conduct of council, they're going to ensure that all prospective candidates must register with the National Identification Management Commission, that's NIMC, to get their NIN.
Interesting. I want to take the story of what happened in Borno State. So, the Islamic Human Rights Advocacy Group, Muslim Rights Concern, MURIC, have released reports that, based on their own investigation, mentioning the dates, and they visited each site, that the governor of Borno State, under the Borno State Geographic Information System, BOGIS, pulled down 11 mosques. 5 of the mosques were pulled down because 6 of the mosques were built down because they were conversion of residential. They didn't have the right to be where they were. Conspicuously located, got the, different documentation and built a mosque where they shouldn't have built it, residential areas and all of that. And the remaining number of mosques were pulled down because it was overriding public interest. While this was a response to 3 churches that were pulled down, they were saying only 3 churches were pulled down because the churches were built in residential areas. Like the churches were residents and they converted into church and
so
they were pulled down.
What
so
reminds me that when governance happens, people then bring in religious, it's doing sentiments. They bring in religious sentiments and tribal sentiments. So he's just trying to tell that, yes, I pulled down 3 churches, but I'm also pulling down about 11 mosques. Okay, moving on now to the Punch. FG recalls envoy as Indonesian officials assault Nigerian diplomat. Man 28 arrested for kidnapping and raping a 15-year-old after collecting ransom. Ex-PAMSEC and 86 others writes Buhari and ex-presidents. National Assembly demands restructuring before 2023. 24 killed in Sokoto as household seasons food with fertilizer. Dixon dismisses petition as EFC grills ex-governor over alleged 17.5 billion naira diversion. South Middle Belt Forum's planned protest over self-determination at UN. World Bank lists Nigeria, 9 others high debt risk nations. States warn against violation of 30-day cases hit over 10,070 deaths. Okay, who wants to take...
Nigeria is owing money. Before we go, not that about owing money. It's that right now we are among the top 10 countries in the world that are at risk, high debt risk. And I know the Minister for Finance will say something different. Probably the CBN government will have something different. But this was released by the World Bank as an international development association. among what the World Bank does every year, to release this statement that there are 2 types of credit risk. Countries that have credit and counterpart credit risk. Nigeria is among the top 10. And it's something that we should be worried about. Because we keep planning our budgets for each year with the intention to borrow. And we're not ready to face the fact that we might not have anybody borrow us money again.
Yeah, the major headline, yeah. So there was a viral video, some of us have seen the video, where a Nigerian diplomat was being harassed by the Indonesian, I think, officials, immigration officials. So according to the story, they said they saw him in the taxi car being pressed down to the seat, and he was screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And when they asked them what happened, they gave the story that they were searching for illegal immigrants, and that was why they felt probably he was one of them. But this is somebody who is a diplomat. So let's just leave the story as it is. Though Nigeria has recalled him to come back, and investigations are ongoing to see what the Indonesian government will do about this. So when we talk about it, we'll get into the details.
So a prominent northern elder, Alhaji Abbas Sambo, has written to the president and other ex-presidents saying that there's a need to restructure the country before 2023. According to him, we should restructure such that there are 6 political zones and they'll be headed by premiers or prime ministers. These are the ones that will have the immunities, that we should take off the immunities from governors, and that 2023 is such an important mark for us, and we must ensure that the country must restructure before that period. Okay, moving on now to, is there another story that...
Yes, EFCC
this human interest story caught my attention. Yes, go ahead.
I want to take the EFCC has invited the current senator and former governor of Bayelsa, former Governor Dixon, to break down some expenditures. There were allegations that there was mismanagement of funds between 2012 and 2020, and in going through everything, there is answering questions. We're waiting to see what the result of the investigations would be, but the Bayelsa governor said that he got the information 2 weeks ago. Bayelsa former governor said he got information 2 weeks ago, and because of his busy schedule, he has rescheduled. As a law-abiding citizen, he has honored the invitation that he rescheduled and is cooperating with EFCC. So we wait to see the result of the investigation.
A 28-year-old young man has been arrested by the police, and I'm so happy this arrest was made because he confessed to sexually assaulting, actually raping a 15-year-old young girl who he kidnapped repeatedly, he and his friends. Although those ones are still at large, but he was able, they arrested him, and he's confessed to the crime. Wow. And I'm happy that that happened, because many of these cases happen and nothing, and we don't see the results.
What about the fertilizer story?
Yes, okay. I have that. Do we have time for that?
Yes.
So 24 people were killed in a household in Danzanke village. This happened in Sokoto State. They said they made food with a particular fertilizer instead of using salt. Gishirin lale, that's what they used to prepare the food, and they ate it, and almost everybody died. I think just 2 people who barely tasted the food are in the hospital right now. They are responding to treatment. So the state is, advising its residents to be very careful on how they eat. These are things that you can solve by yourself. And I'm wondering, why do you spice your food with a fertilizer?
No. It probably looks like salt. It's a mistake. So it probably looks like salt, and they put it inside water. Then sprinkle it on. So it's about the way we keep our things. And I think every farmer should be aware that there are hazardous chemicals. There's even on your food, where you grow your plant fertilizer, you're supposed to really, really wash it to take out the fertilizer elements, residues inside it. So we are not supposed to keep it where you keep your food stuff. There should be places where you keep everything that
are... Also, you see, I mean, this is an opportunity to talk about masking tips. I love masking tips. You can actually write on them. Every single thing can be labeled easily and just write on it. I know they might not be masking tape, but the idea is that always keep...
even if you're not literate and you can't write anything, it's simply shelving. So growing up, when my grandma knew anything,
there was no masking tape.
We used to use, you need to stretch hand to take certain things. And just keep away at things.
Let's go. Yeah, I remember my mother-in-law gave me rat poison when my kids, and I said, man, they're still small. When they grow up, they can pick them up. So you have to be very careful. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll return with the other reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to move on now to Daily Sun. APC crisis, governors stand by Buni. Separatist agitators to stage 1 million man march at the UN this September. Lagos denies takeover claims of Lekki concession company. We've spent over 500 billion naira on COVID-19 intervention. Second us to go in October. No plans to sell airports, says Minister. Enugu government firm trained 400 youths in auto revamp innovation. Okay, which story are we still?
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, may we clarify, because I took the story yesterday. According to the Commissioner for Information, he said that that story making the rounds is not right, that the Lagos State, the government of Governor Sanwo-Olu did not approach the House of Assembly to take over the Lekki Concession Company, that its request was to convert the African Development Bank loan from a private sector commercial loan to a sovereign public sector loan, which attracts lower interest, and this will enable the company to make some savings. The government, in fact, acquired full shares equity of the former owners of the company in 2014, so they couldn't be doing that again this time around. That's
so still correcting misinformation, the Minister for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, was addressing in a Zoom meeting the fact that there were speculations that maybe the government wanted to sell the international airport, and he said that there are no plans to sell the airports, that currently our international airports are not being well managed, and that the government cannot fund the management of the airport. So what they are doing now is for the international terminals of Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, there would be a concession to private investors to manage it for a while, after which it will be restored to the government.
Well done.
Yeah,
so separatist groups, they call themselves the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, are to hold a 1 million march in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York, USA. And one of the things they're going to be demanding for is a referendum on self-determination and abolition of the 1999 Constitution. So this group is an umbrella body of self-determination between the South-South, Southeast, Middle Belt, and Ilana Omo Odua. Ilanomo Odua. For the Yoruba So they are going to be having this march from the 14th of September to the 21st of September, and they are going to be appealing to the United Nations to provide a peacekeeping call to Nigeria for those people that are being...
to send their call to us.
Exactly.
Okay, I was really excited about this news. Enugu State is doing great things. I saw it on the papers that they're trained 400 youth in auto revamp innovation. That is great news because, according to the special advisor to the governor, he says that the first batch of the beneficiaries who participated in the 8-month-long auto revamp have graduated and will be empowered to become technically empowered to begin their own businesses. But the point is that I like the fact that the governor is taking it important for those to empower young people in automobile development, because that is an industry that has not been given enough attention.
It's almost an industry that is genetically whatever to the Easterners.
But this is now they are skilled, and they will be. This is the kind of empowerment I believe that should be applauded and replicated across other states. 400, this is a huge number.
And I proudly tell everybody that, listen, TVC has been a supporter of Innocent Motors. We have a lot of our cars, our official cars are Innocent, and we support that industry. And we're really happy to see that the Enugu State government is also doing the same thing. Well done. Moving on to Daily Trust. Police phone tracker inactive 7 months after collapse. Over 50% of Nigerian children unregistered at birth, says UNICEF. Dangote's net worth hit $17.8 billion, the only Nigerian on Bloomberg's billionaires list.
Wow.
APC governors asked Buni Committee to organize convention, and Masari fails to conduct local government polls in 6 years, despite Supreme Court judgment. Major headline, who has that story?
I do.
Go ahead.
Major story.
So, according to the Daily Trust reports that, based on their investigation, they gathered that the equipment used for tracking terrorists, kidnappers, other criminals have been inactive for over 7 months, since January 1, 2021, when they stopped working. And according to them, they said fees that were supposed to be paid by the force for requisite services to enable them to function were not remitted. And that's part of what happened.
I smell conspiracy.
But Frank Kumba has responded. He said that, that the device was being upgraded and remodeled, and that is not true. That, it was for lack of... but I know it's not functioning. I tried to do a track and arrest.
No, just the spokesperson is not saying it confirms it's not functioning, but giving a different reason for why it's not functioning. So, and our government is serious about fighting kidnapping.
But I wonder if you want to upgrade or remodel such a thing, should it take you this long?
But he's saying,
considering how important it is,
and we are fighting like the biggest challenge we have.
He also said that the reason why they didn't talk about it because they don't want the criminals to know that they're having issues with this. So it's been upgraded, but it's not supposed to be announced. So now that we have announced
that you're trying to get
obviously. Please let me take the governor of Masari, Governor of Katsina State, since 2015 hasn't conducted local government elections. It dissolves the local government, the chairmen that were in place before. They went to court, and the Supreme Court 3 months ago has upheld the voiding of his dissolution of the last elected council. So they've had caretaker chairman for a long time. And they already said that once the Supreme Court case comes out, they would be getting a new election taking place, and 3 months after there's no election. So people are clamoring that, can we have a proper instituted, elected officials at the chairman, at the local government level of Katsina State? And we'd like to hear what he would say concerning that.
Yeah, so the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, is saying that 50% of the births of children under 5 years remain unregistered in Nigeria, and we account for 11% in West Africa, for unregistered children in West Africa. So they said that they know that we are addressing structural, normative, and operational challenges to birth registration, but it's something that we need to work hand in hand so that every child is registered, every child has an opportunity to have health and education, and it's through registration that we can get to that level. And we also need to, we have the Sustainable Development Goals that everybody's working towards for 2030. And one of them is to provide a legal identity for all. So if we can register all of our children, that means we're able to give them.
I'm surprised that we have that much people unregistered. That means they don't give birth in the hospitals.
That means they don't give birth in hospitals, that they don't get the local government registration birth certificates on. Yeah.
Moving on now to Vanguard. Crisis, Secondus survives as PDP fixes convention for October. Again, the ladies have refused to read political stories.
Yeah, you're not interested. You're on, darling.
All right, let's find a story we've not taken. FG receives 176,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine today. Surrendered Boko Haram top commanders beg for forgiveness. Nigerians react. Fiscal deficit pressure. FG increases domestic borrowing by 33.9% to about 3.3 trillion naira in H1 2021. That's the first quarter of the year. Assault. FG recalls ambassador to review diplomatic relations with Indonesia. And end strike negotiates with your government. APC tells striking doctors. Any story that...
I just need to appeal to our government officials, people that are decision makers in the country, that considering how much money we are borrowing, we need to block leakages. The EFCC needs to work more. We need to cut costs because we cannot sustain this. And they are all older people. Most of our leaders are in the 50+ percentile. It would be better for them not to give our own children and their grandchildren debts as a nation.
Talking about our leaders, Babangida is 80. Babangida is 80.
Yes, sir.
It is weird.
He has long life.
Hey,
contrary to what everybody has been saying. Contrary to all the courses that were placed on all our former leaders.
The man is 80. God is giving him long life, according to God's will.
He's well.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. PDP. I'm not going to talk about politics. Let's find another story. NIN, we've discussed it. NDLEA arrests 43 drug dealers, seizes 137.55 kg of cocaine in Ondo, Nasarawa, Benue. Nigerian Air Force strikes kill 45 terrorist leaders in Zamfara forest. That's a good story. 4 killed as militia invade Benue community. Bandits killed over 112 in Kaduna Plateau in 1 month. Dangote, only Nigerian on Bloomberg's top billionaires list. Akintoye Turaki orders to lead the 1 million man march at the UN General Assembly. Nigeria threatens to review relationship with Indonesia. Let's find another story. Guinea confirms West Africa's first case of Ebola-like Marburg virus. Hey,
did you take that? You can give us the story.
Hey.
So, health officials in Guinea said that, they have the first case of a highly infectious disease called the Ebola-like Marburg, and that they've taken sample, they've done the test, and it's been confirmed that that virus is existing. The UN has said that they should do everything in their power to nip it in the bud because the spread of this virus would be very bad, as its symptoms are like and even worse than the Ebola virus. That's the WHO, sorry, has said that it should be nipped. The World Health Organization nipped in the bud immediately as soon as it's discovered. But we have that
spread though now.
Making no sense.
Yeah, so operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, launching fresh raids in states like Nasarawa, Benue, and Ondo states, and they were about to get, they were able to catch 43 suspected dealers and consumers of illicit substances. They got 137.55 kilograms of assorted drugs were recovered from them. And also in Ondo State, their chapter in Ondo State was able to get a particular woman, a 44-year-old woman who the husband escaped, but in their building, they were able to get 65 kilograms of cannabis sativa, 500 grams of skunk, 16 grams of loud, 34 grams of Colorado, bringing the total of drugs seized from them to 65.950 kilograms. So they're really moving from state to state and carrying out all of these raids. I bless them all.
The story yesterday was very, very touching, as in the drug-related story. Very, very sad story that...
Okay, so we have to run off, but Amnesty International has released a report saying that 112 people been killed in Kaduna and Plateau State in just 1 month. Yes, while 160 individuals were abducted with thousands displaced as a result of the violent attacks that's happened in these states. They're saying that despite the clear signs that there might be retaliatory attacks, enough is not being done to repel these bandits that come to attack and kidnap Nigerian citizens.
I think we should just first call them. I think a lot is being done because we see, at least the story of the firefight, the guy that survived after his plane was shot down. It means that many attacks are going on, and we hear the stories. But can we proscribe them? Can we call them a terrorist group so that when they are caught, there's no reconciliation? They are terrorist groups.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go on a break. When we return, we're still on this matter of the Boko Haram. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.